Hello everybody, Reggie Time here. In just a few moments we're going to be looking at some fun hands I played over the last few days on the iPoker network. But before we get into that, I don't want to start the video without paying my own little tribute to Doyle Brunson. No one who knows Doyle Brunson's going to ever listen to this. But yeah, I just feel like I want to say something because the guy had such a massive influence on poker, and he had a massive influence on my game too. Super System 2 was probably, I think, the first poker book I read. Um, and it changed me from being pretty much a fish, like a nitty fish, into a spewy fish, like a aggressive fish, if you will. And then slowly but surely, I got a little bit better and yeah, turned something I was just passionate about and I enjoyed into something that's been an income stream for Christ knows how long now, 15, 16, 17 years. Um, and yeah, like without Dor Brunson, there'd be a lot of people watching this video who make money at poker who maybe wouldn't have this as like a poker income now. Um, when I was young, I was brought up in pubs and what have you. My mum and dad had pubs. I was a probably very good pool player relative to the people in my area, relative to the people in my county. So, like from the age of like maybe 13, I was in and around pubs either because I lived in them or because I played for several pool teams as a child or as a youth, however you want to describe it. So, I was around gambling, I was around drinking, I was around the kind of like the sort of scene that 13, 14, 15 year olds probably shouldn't be around. Um, so I kind of like from a very young age kind of knew what way of life I wanted to live, and it wasn't 9 to 5. It wasn't, what most people do. And I guess we're all like that, but I kind of like was really like strongly against doing that. Obviously, I did it for a long time because I wasn't skilled enough or intelligent enough at anything else to do anything but that. But like Doyle Brunson, he like realized he didn't want to do the 9 to 5 at a very young age, like 18, 19 or whatever. And the man fucking did something about it. I read his book, and he was. Everyone will know this. He was like really good at sports. He was going to play for like an NBA team. Then he had a bad accident working a summer job that made him like it's impossible for him to continue his basketball career. Then that I think some of you might not know, have not read his book. He then got like a bog standard like job, and within weeks, maybe a couple of months, he was like, "This is a waste of time. I can make more money playing poker," and he just fucking did that for the next however long. 65, 70 years. Now that is a man who's living the fucking dream of all of us. And yeah, I've just got so much fucking respect for that because he was doing that in a time where um, like it was dishonourable to play poker. Like, it wasn't an honourable profession. It also meant your life was at risk. You had, when we play poker, the only thing that's at risk is our fucking mouse or what have you. He was got to places where they had guards with machine guns. They carried a shotgun in the boot to go there. Even if they won, they weren't guaranteed to get away with the fucking money, and they weren't going to get paid, or they might get fucking held up at gunpoint. They might get beaten up. Someone might pull a knife on them, etc. And the man was just out there fucking doing it, and you know, I as a like a bit of a nostalgia freak slash um kind of part-time poker historian. I fucking love all that stuff. I love the romance of it. Um, I just think it must have been like brilliant at the same time as being terrifying and what have you. And yeah, I just think like if I'd have made a video, my next video after Doyle passing, to not say anything about him would have felt pretty shitty on my part because um, I probably owe him owing quite a lot, as we all do. Anyways, not anyways, that's a pretty heartless way to put it. I don't want to go on about it too much. There's been loads of tributes to him, and they'll all be better than this one. But I just wanted to say my own personal thing about like what he meant to me, the influence he's had on my not just my game, but my life. My life has changed significantly for the better because of poker. And if Doyle Brunson wasn't doing the things he was doing 60 years ago, right the way up to the modern times, um, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. I probably wouldn't have the lovely work-life balance I have. I wouldn't be as content as I am. And yeah, for that I'll be forever grateful. And yeah, I'm not a believer of the afterlife. I'm not religious or anything like that. But just on you have to have some wrong. Rest in peace. And yeah, just if I am wrong, get up there and enjoy yourself, big man. I guess. Um, so to move on, we're going to look at some hands I played on the iPoker network, as I said. They're all going to be fun hands with villains having unusual ranges. And yeah, but at the end, I'm going to talk a little bit about what's been going on in the last 6 weeks because I've been playing shit basically. I've not been playing well. There's reasons for it, and they're all nearly all self-inflicted. And yeah, so I want to talk a little bit about that at the end. It's basically going to be me saying all the things I think I've done wrong and how I intend to correct that. But for now, we'll just look at the hands, and yeah, hopefully you'll have some fun seeing some splashing around. We're going to get rid of this username because I now have a new username on iPoker because I've changed my screen name all legally, all done with permission of the site. So yeah, it doesn't matter that we can see Grandpa Reg here because he no longer exists. How the fuck do I get rid of this? Show no card. Blah, 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 mask player names. That's what we want. So away we go. We have the 8-5 suited. We defend versus a what looks like an unknown player, well, relatively unknown, but looks on the like more bad aggressive side of the spectrum. So we defend the 8-5 suited. We flop an open ender. Villain bets around 40% pot. We call. We turn the absolute nizzles. Villain now overbets, and I think this is pretty bad from him with his entire range. I don't think he wants to have too many overbets in this spot. And we have, I mean, I guess he has plenty of strong hands too from the small blind, but it feels to me like out of position on a board of this nature. Like a lot of his like aces, kings, ace, king, king, queen, etc. Do they really want to overbet? I mean, I don't know. I could be fucking wrong here. I'm going to talk more about, like GTO and stuff at the end, or people trying to play GTO style. But for me, this isn't a spot where his range wants to be overbetting. I guess he wants to do a lot of checking, and when he does bet, probably use big sizes. So I could be wrong, but I think it's probably not what he wants to do. I mean, what is the nuts? We have it 8-5 suited. He doesn't. I mean, maybe he has all combos of that. He probably shouldn't. Well, maybe he should actually. I don't fucking know. But anyways, I have way more like nutted hands here than he does. One would imagine, but I don't really want to talk about that stuff too much anyway because that's what made me shit at poker for the last 6 weeks. He chooses the overbet size. I think when players do this in general, they're going to have some pretty strong hands. They're gonna have the aces. They're gonna have the ace king. They're gonna have the sets of kings. They're gonna have some draws too that aren't folding. And basically, I don't think overbet folds a thing. I think lots of like regs, aggressive regs, tight regs, whatever. Um, when they overbet, they usually do it with a hand that's they're desperate to try and protect, or they're trying to get like big fat value for, or they've got a strong draw that they're not folding. So, like in theory, I don't think we're supposed to raise against overbets. I don't give a fuck anymore. I think this guy's probably relatively strong, and we've got the nuts, so we're just going to raise. He goes all in, and We have the easy call, of course. Where do we show hand? Show non-hole cards. He had two aces and was drawing dead, which was nice for us. And I think he, don't, yeah, he just misplayed his hand, in my opinion. He misplayed his hand. I mean, getting it all in with aces on this board, it can't be the end of the world. But I don't think he played the hand particularly well. And we'll get rid of these fucking hole cards again for the next hand. So we'll show it to run out, but it doesn't matter because we win anyway. On to the next one. We have the ace and the king. We raise. We get a call from a blue tagged player who we christened Lance in the previous hand review video. And we get another call from whatever this is. 37 trees of fish, isn't it? And we flop ourselves top two pairs. Don't remember this hand, so this could be amusing, seeing what I think I should do versus what I did do. So in this spot, we've got top two pair on a monotone flop with two fish in the pot that both only have half stacks. If we're cooler by a flush, tough shit. I think against two fish, we probably just want to use large bets here. If we had a better read on this play that is more aggressive, maybe we could think about once in a large check raising. But I think I just like big bets here. Let's see what I actually did in the moment. I'd prefer it a bit bigger, but whatever. We get min raised. He folds, I think now just all in against someone who's clearly a weapon. He can, yeah, of course he can have some flushes. Of course he can have 3 9s. But he can just have worse ace X. He can have who knows what random king X with a diamond, just random nonsense because he's a whale. So I think all in is probably just a play. Let's see what I did. I just called. Well played, Reg. You fucking idiot. Turn is a 6. We check. Villain bets half pot. Surely we go all in now. Yeah, we do. Villain calls. He has 7-3 offsuit. So irritatingly, he's live. Shouldn't be live, but he is. And now he's not. On to the next one. Hello, ladies. Limp from an 87/3. Over limp from a 40/11. Over limp from a 55/5. Yeah, just make it massive, Bridge. 10 bigs, something like that, maybe. 8 bigs. A bit on the small side, but whatever. Call. Back raise. Right, all in then, I guess. What is going on here? Then another all in. And then a fold. And then a call. And they have queens and 8 jack off suit. The 8 jack off suit, just flicking it in for 60 big blinds. And why not? This dude with his over limp back raise with queens, very creative play. Sadly for us, if this guy improves, we're fucked. Obviously, we go all in 2, and this guy flops a pair. We've got a flush draw, so we're now free rolling this guy. It's an absolutely beautiful spot, and this is how I managed to not have to work a full-time job that I despise, because we're just getting amazing spots like this where we're free rolling in a big pot and then we're crushing. We're crushing in this little side pot and we're free rolling the big spot. Oh dear. That's a problem, isn't it? Are we going to hit the flush? Are we fuck? Reggie doesn't run like that. Reggie doesn't run that fucking well. So that's when we lost. Fair play to Villain 7. Now we have the ace and the queen of blue. We open. Get a call from Villain 7. This almost certainly the same Villain 7 from before. Looking at the stats. We flop ourselves a top pair. This guy's passive as fuck. Bad looks of things. These are all these like bet, flop, bet turn, bet river frequencies. Really low. Just bet big, Reg. Don't fuck around. Good stuff. Against an 87 VPIP, I don't mind all in. I don't remember what I did, but I wouldn't mind all in here. He's going to snap us off with all his worst aces. He's going to probably still snap us off with his flush draws. Yeah, I actually think like 2.5x pot all in is the play here. Whether I do it or not, who knows? But I think 2.5x pot all in is just a play against an 87 VPIP. Nope, I choose just to bet a more orthodox size. And then the flush gets there in the river, but at this point, whatever, he's going to have as much, if not more, ace-x, and he's going to have flush draws. So we just have a crystal clear value jam. Villain calls. They had 8-4 offsuit. Rather ambitious call there on the river from our villain. Moving on to the ace and the 9 offsuited. We get a 73/33 limping in. We check back. I'm surprised. I thought I would ISO raise the ace-9 offsuit. Obviously I didn't this time. Flop ourselves a nut flush draw. He bets. We raise. He calls. Turning the nuts. He now bets pot. I think when bad players do this, they're never bluffing. Literally never bluffing. We just hope he's got the queen of spades, 10 of spades, something like that. I hope I raise here because they're almost never bluffing and they're almost never folding because they're bad. Against a better player, against a regular or something, I would probably not raise here very often. But against a bad player, just raise, Reg. Let's hope I raise. And probably make it a size where we can like comfortably jam the river. If we make this 24 bigs here and he calls, it's going to put him down on 59 bigs, which will make for a reasonable river jam. Not big enough, Reg. What are you fucking doing, you moron? He calls. Board pairs river. He checks. We still have a crystal clear jam. But look, we haven't set the pot out correctly now. If we'd have put an extra 6 big blinds in the pot on the turn, there would now have been 56 in the pot, and he would have had 59 in his stack. So it would have been a far better SPR to shove with. Reg, what are you fucking doing, Reg? I mean, we didn't have a moment's silence for Doyle, but I think we need to have a moment's silence for how fucking atrociously I played this hand. Anyways, fortunately, he jams. We call. And he has a 9-10. I wish maybe the lands in that hand. 2 9s. Isolating someone currently playing 100/10. A call and an limp min. You see this quite a lot on iPoker. The limp min, nothing to do but call. And other player calls. Oh, what a surprise. We flop a set. It's like a Brad Owen video. Hero has pocket pair. Hero flop set. Villain now bets 1 big blind. Raisey daisy from us. We raise to 10. Villain calls. Ace on the turn. Villain now goes all in. We have the easy call, of course. And he had the king 10 offsuit. The limp min raise with the king 10 off. And the min c bet call with backdoor straight draw. And then the jam on the turn. Interesting. Moving on, we have 2 10s. We isolate to 6 big blinds. Get 2 callers. 6-9-6 flop. This very aggressive villain over a small sample decides he wants to bet half pot. I think raising here would be fine if it wasn't for the fact it was multi-way, but because it's multi-way, I think calling's by far the superior play. Villain 18 calls 2. Turn is a queen. Check. Now he bets one big blind. So he just has a 9. That's pretty much all there is to it. He doesn't do this with a 6. The only concern here is villain 18's range. He could have a lot of 6x's in the big blind. Maybe he just raises the flop when he has a 6-0 multi-way. Who knows? I elected not to call, not to raise though, because of the presence of this guy. So I just call and he calls. River is a 5. He checks again. At this point, he does not have a 6. He would not just check, call the one big blind bet on the turn with a 6 very often whatsoever. This guy now bets under 1/3 pot. I don't think there's any raising. I think it's too thin, but we have a trivial call. And he did have a 9, just like we all knew. Last hand of this section of the video. We open the ace-jack suited. Very, very, very familiar with this player. Very tight reg, very predictable. Not particularly good. Your absolute classic like nit reg, shit reg. Makes money in these games undoubtedly because they are so soft, but yeah, it's just shit. And that's not saying I'm shit too. I mean, I'm shit too. As like we said in previous videos about my now good friend Bean81 from Sky and others. We're all fucking shit. If we weren't shit, we would be playing higher stakes. So when I say this guy's shit, he's shit compared to what it's like to be good at poker. Compared to me, I think he's a little bit shitter, but probably not a lot. Maybe he isn't. Who knows? But yeah, we're all shit. But he's shit too. The 60-32 cold calls in the big blind. We're pretty damn deep here. We could just flat and play a pot in position. But I remember thinking this hand was played not very long ago. I remember thinking how nice it would be to try and like fold this guy out and then just run it against this guy. So that's what I tried to do. 4-bet to 26 big blinds. Obviously, triple fold to a 5-bet puts this guy in a pretty rough spot. He knows I probably can't be bluffing because this guy's cold called and he's always calling. He's always putting the rest of his money in, so he must know I can't be bluffing here. Yeah, it puts him in a rough spot with quite a lot of his holdings. I think he does elect to fold. This guy flicks the rest in. I flick the rest in. And he has the 4-3. So he did a fantastic job of isolating. Now we just got to hold. Oh, that's not a good start, is it? It's not a good turn either. And that river stinks. And yeah, we lost the pot. He got there, Phil. He got there. So yeah, there's the fun hands. This is going to be like hammer videos I going forward. I guess before we move on to the next part, I'll just address why I didn't start doing the 10 hour fast forward video I promised at the end of last week. And I started trying to make the video on Monday morning, and my heart just was not in it in the fucking slightest. I had 2 tables. And there was literally zero enthusiasm from me. I didn't want to be playing those games. I didn't want to be making that video. Yeah, it was shit. And I'd recorded for about 20 minutes. I was like, this is fucking awful, really awful. I knew it was awful, and I just stopped the video. I was like, right, okay, then we're not doing that then. So these are going to be how it's going to be going forward. Basically, every few days, I'm going to be showing you the hands, the fun hands I played against fucking idiots. That's the MO going forward. There'll be occasional videos where I bring in some hands that I played against regulars that I that I think might be more interesting from like a strategical standpoint, where I explain what I was thinking, and why I wasn't trying to follow GTO methods. But yeah, these are going to be predominantly what we're doing. Then there'll be some stuff against regs too. And yeah, I'm probably going to be able to do at least a couple of videos. And I enjoy doing the videos. They don't get good views these days. I don't know if like it's like the channel dropping in popularity. I don't know if it's to do with like the way YouTube's algorithms work these days. I don't know if it's because I don't like ask people to hit the like and all that often enough. And I don't really care either, to be honest. I've got a nice little community, um, and if it doesn't grow, it doesn't grow. Who cares? So yeah, they're going to be the videos going forward. I enjoy doing them. It gives me something to do from time to time. I've got nothing to shill. I've got nothing to sell, but I enjoy doing them. So we're going to keep doing them. Anyways, on to the final part of the video, which is this. This is my graph for all the hands I played at in the on the skin I play on since I think it was something like July last year, just at 20 and L. It's not at any of the other stakes. Not that I played much of the other stakes. As you can see, it's a very sexily shaped graph. Um, generally just solid churning it out. That's a win rate of like I think 7.5 bigs per 100. I think. Um, yeah, 7 bigs 100. And frankly, um, for the games I play and for my game section, that win rate could and should be better. Um, I think my A games win rate in these games is like 12 bigs, I think. My B games win rate's probably around 6 bigs. And given that I should produce my A game more than my B game, I genuinely think that should bring my win rate up to around 9 or 10 long term. It's a very high rake environment. Um, but I think like my results have been, whilst good, you mean, how can you complain? I won like €4,500 plus whatever shitty little bit to rate back again. So I probably made like €6,000 in whatever it is, 10 months, just on this one site alone. Um, and that's not counting whatever I've won at 15 and what have you. So yeah, it's been like, I've been on this skin now for about 10 months. I've probably made around €7,000 and I'm complaining. Um, which it's a little bit nonsense, I suppose, but I just know I can do better. But the part of the graph I want to talk about is this part here. Don't know if we can highlight it. This part here, yeah. Where it just it's an outlier in like the rest of my graph. Of course, within the graph there's other like downswings and break even stretches, but this is basically like, yeah, maybe I haven't quite cropped it right, but I think I looked last night like 40k hands of breaking even in games where in my opinion, my expected win rate is 10 big blinds. Even though like I'm demonstrating 7 big blinds, I think it should be 10. But even if it's 7, now that can happen if you go to like I think it's Poker Dope, is it, or something, and you put a 10 big blind win rate in or whatever. You can still have like really long break even stretches. But I'm not I'm not just going to put it down to variance. There's no way I'm going to put it down to variance because I know I haven't played well. And the reasons I haven't played well is because I decided to start using GTO Wizard. Um, and don't get me wrong, I think that's a fantastic tool. I think it's very interesting. I think it's a nice toy. But it did things to my game that, to my game's significant detriment. And that's on me. That's not on GTO Wizard. That's on me. I started trying to adopt and utilize strategies that I just didn't fucking understand correctly. I started like playing different ranges pre-flop. I started um, having more three bets. I started using different sizes for my three bets. I started having like countless different sizes post flop. And basically, I went from having just like, as we talked about earlier, an A and a B, and sometimes a C game when I'm tilting my tits off, to like, I didn't know what version of me was going to turn up from day to day to day. There was literally 10 or more different versions of me. Some days I'll be like, right, forget GTO play tight. Other days I'll be like, no, no, no. And I was just such, and my confidence just dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped to a point where I just like started questioning, am I even fucking winning anymore? Am I even beating these fucking games? Am I, you know, we've all had it a million times. You know, it's like you have an extended break even stretch or downswing, and you think you're never going to fucking win at the game again. And I've had that probably from the start of April until the time of this video. There are some slightly mitigating circumstances. My um, son and his girlfriend were expecting a child. They're both still quite young, and I was anxious for them, anxious about like it's such a big life change thing, and yeah, I'm just an old man and I get anxious about things sometimes. So I had that anxiety playing on me, and the closer and closer we got to the baby's birth, the worse that anxiety got. As you can see, that well, not as you can see that my volume was shit. Um, in terms of like hours played at the table. I was also mixing in fucking triple A snap. I was mixing in fast forward. I was all over the fucking joint. There was 20 different regis, and none of them were any fucking good. To be frank, none of them were any fucking good. So I decided after the birth of the baby, which was Thursday, Thursday last week. All the days are getting mixed up, but yeah, it was about. She was born about 5 days ago. Um, I was like, right, that's gone now, Reg. This is your line in the sand. This is your like wipe the board clean. You've had your fucking like 6 weeks of being an absolute fucking moron. Pull your finger out because I do want to like help support them, and I can use poker to do that. But I can't use poker to do that if I'm fucking breaking even for 6 continuing weeks in games that are like literally saturated with some of the biggest morons in the world. So I decided just fucking pull your finger out, Reg. Um, go back to basics. Just go back to doing what you do. Like not ignoring theory, because how can you ignore theory? But like just be like, right, okay, like a lot of the stuff you've learned, unlearn it and fucking unlearn it quickly. Because I was literally turning into we've all seen um YouTubers or streamers, or we've got pals in Discord groups that we chat to, or Skype groups or whatever, where they're like using GTO strategies. Not many of them are winning at big numbers, not many of them at all. Um, Most of them are breaking even, maybe even losing, and they're blaming everything but them fucking selves. They blame the villains for being shit, turning up with non-existent combos. They blame, it's everyone's fault but fucking theirs. And I was turning into that guy, and that's not a guy I want to be. So I decided to throw all that shit out the window, Rich, because most of the people, most of my peers and people who I talk to who are trying to use these strategies, quite frankly, aren't doing very fucking well. They spend half their life fucking hating poker, coming and going from it, and blaming everybody else for their own deficiencies. And I thought someone was coming through my front door then. And that's what I was turning into. And once you start going down that route and you lose accountability to yourself, it's very easy to get stuck in an enormous rut and just continue doing that. Not my fault. It's fucking Villain 18's fault for being a fucking moron. Not my fault I'm running so bad. Not my fault the RNG just keeps shafting me, etc., etc., etc. Not my fault I ran into top of range or ran at the top of his range. Oh, really? That's what you do a lot in big pots because that's just the way poker kind of works. You play in a big pot, you're usually going to run at the top of someone's fucking range. So if you're trying to play a big pot with marginal hands, quite often, you're quite often just going to see the top of people's ranges, and you're not going to do very fucking well, which is why most players break even, win a little bit, who are using GTO, and players who kind of like accept GTO exists, but then are trying to find exploits and making quite large deviations probably do an awful lot fucking better, especially against recreational players. So that's what I've decided to get back to doing, and that's what we're going to be doing going forward. I'm also going to cut my table count down because I'm an old man now. I'm nearly 50. 3 tables max, yeah, and it might sound like the most boring thing on earth. 3 tables max, 20 and L. But poker's my passion. I love playing. I love gambling. and it's fine. I'm happy just doing that. And yeah, am I going to make as much money as I've made in the past? No, I'm not. But I'm not playing as high as I played in the past. I'm not playing as many tables as played in the past, and maybe my edge isn't as big as it's been in the past. So it's unreasonable to expect to make the same amount of money. But I'm in a position where I don't need to make as much money as I've needed to make in the past because of my non-poker work and incomes. So yeah, going forward, I'm gonna have more of a like not recreational approach. That's the wrong way to put it because I'm still going to be able to put lots of hours in. I'm still going to want to put lots of hours in, but I'm not going to be chasing volume. I am going to be chasing hours, and I'm going to be trying to play my very best. But I'm not going to study very much because when I study, I actually think it makes me worse at poker. I'm going to observe people who do study. I'm going to listen to what they're saying. I do the kind of study I used to do. I'm going to watch good players play poker. I'm going to listen to what they are saying. I'm going to glean useful information from that that I think is applicable to my games. And I'm going to throw out the nonsense that they talk, trying to make this look clever, that is not applicable to my games. That's what I did for literally 15 years, just listening to poker commentaries, pre streams. You know, the poker commentaries weren't very good in terms of like the expert analysis. But you could still listen to what they were saying. You could listen to other players talking and the good players talking, um, and you could glean a lot from it. Then you in your communities too. You can get involved in lots of conversations. You can take the stuff you want to take. You can ignore the stuff you want to ignore. And I'm pretty much going to ignore anyone who wants to talk about GTO going forward because GTO at the micro stakes is interesting, it's fun, it's a nice toy to play with, but it's nowhere near as effective as paying attention and trying to exploit. And so when GTO comes into use, if you see a new reg at your table or somebody suspects a reg, it's nice to know what we'd want to do to be relatively well balanced. But once we know something about our opponents, we'll spot their imbalances, and then we'll want to try and imbalance ourselves to try and exploit their imbalances. And they'll be doing the same to us, you would imagine, unless they're one of the GTO types who aren't really looking to exploit imbalances, are just looking to like play balanced. So that's what I've always done. I've been like a very profitable in my own stakes poker player for 17 years. Um, and I've always enjoyed it, and I haven't enjoyed the last 6 weeks. Um, I was hoping to get back into doing a little bit of like really cheap coaching because I enjoy doing that too. Just with a two or three like-minded players, but I've been playing so fucking rubbish recently. It would be dishonest and disingenuous of me to do that, even though like historically I'm a proven winning player. I'm a proven coach to help people get better at poker. I've had countless positive testimonials and literally not one negative one in my entire time doing coaching. So I know I'm capable of doing that. But you don't start trying to say that I wouldn't mind doing a bit of really cheap coaching. And by really cheap I mean like 10, 12 quid an hour cheap with people who I think I would get along with. Mostly middle-aged people who who don't want to like go down the far end of of 5 bet bluffing ranges. But yeah, I think I could still offer a good service there, but there's not a chance I can start offering that whilst I've been playing as badly as I have. So there we go. Bit of a ramble. Those of you who enjoy my content won't mind the ramble, and fuck those who are switched off because who fucking cares? It's a community channel, and if only 10 or 12 people get to the end of the video because for some reason they find the things I say fascinating, then congratulations to you and thank you ever so much for your support. If you have made it this far and you haven't hit the like button yet, what are you doing, you fucking cunt? Get it clicked. But we're going to leave it there for now. I'm off to work in 10 minutes. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Once again, rest in peace to, in my opinion, the biggest legend poker's ever had and is likely to have in my lifetime. Take care, everybody. Fuck the Tories. Fuck everyone who votes for them. And we'll see you on the next video. Bye bye for now.